بسم الله بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. فاللهم اغفر لنا ولوالدينا وللسامعين ولجميع المسلمين أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear brothers and all the viewers. The reason why I decided to make this video after a long time, of course, without a doubt, was because I believe that a lot of people are interested, without a doubt, in studying in the Islamic University of Medina and other institutes around the world where they can study the deen. However, unfortunately, a lot of people apply, some for the wrong reasons, and some go out there and they study, and unfortunately they end up coming back or leaving or dropping out. So I decided to make a video kind of highlighting what the reason is for a lot of people to drop out, and some pieces of advice. And this video won't be long at all. Some pieces of advice for those that are wanting to study, to not fall into the same mistakes, and for those that are currently studying at the same time, wherever you may be around the world, whether it's Islamic University of Medina or any other institute, to not drop out and to stay until you complete your studies. So I ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to make this gathering a beneficial one, and to make it of benefit, and to make it sincere for His sake. And we know without a doubt the hadith, the famous hadith, the profound hadith, كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: من سلك طريقا يلتمس فيه علما سهل الله به طريقا إلى الجنة، أو كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. That whoever treads a path of seeking knowledge, then Allah Azza wa Jalla will make the path to Jannah easy. But we know without a doubt that this path leading to Jannah is not easy. And of course, studying and seeking knowledge is not something that one can do and it will be easy or enjoyable in terms of just having the luxury life. A lot of people think like it's a glamorous life or it's very easy. It is very enjoyable if one has the right intention. So the main reason, as to the reason why a lot of people drop out, specifically now I'm talking about specifics from the West, and if we want to make it even more specific we can, but mainly the West, and with my experience, of course, from being from London, from UK, from those brothers that are from London, a lot of them go there for the wrong reasons. A lot of them go there for the wrong reasons. So we have to try and remember the hadith, كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم: إنما الأعمال بالنيات وإنما لكل امرئ ما نوى. Okay, these are based upon intention. So if you intend to go out there for a reason, and this should be a reminder for myself first and foremost and others listening, one should not go out there to gain a position afterwards from the dunya, or to gain a benefit, to gain a salary and income. This should not be your main reason as to why you're going out there. Rather, it shouldn't be your reason at all. It should be, your intention should be to get closer to Allah Azza wa Jal. Not because you want to go there and make a name for yourself. You want to go there and get close to scholars. You want to go there and have a new friendship, a new circle to be respected. No, it should be mainly because you want to get closer to Allah. And the only way to get close to your Lord Jalla Jalaluhu is to uplift that ignorance from yourself and to have knowledge of your Lord. As it was said, كيف يتقي من لا يدري من يتقي? How can one fear anyone without knowing whom they're fearing, whom that person is? So how can you fear Allah Azza wa Jal if you don't know much about your Lord? So your main reason should be to uplift that ignorance from yourself. Afterwards, of course, it should be to have knowledge so that you can save yourself, first and foremost, and your family members from the hellfire. So this should be understood, ikhwani. A lot of people go there for the wrong intentions. Maybe it's a trend because they know that their friends have gone out there, or they know that something could be lined up waiting for them when they come back. This should not be your intention. It should not be on your mind at all, one bit at all. It should be sincerely for you getting close to your Lord Jalla Jalaluhu. So I hope that point is clear. A lot of brothers, when they go there, they don't plan ahead. They have expectations. So an example is someone studying from here that has been to university in this country or anywhere else in the world. They have the same expectations, thinking they're going to go there. A simple example is that they're going to be collected from the airport and put into hotels. They're going to have nice rooms, spacious rooms. They're going to be have like a setup or a lineup waiting for them, and a syllabus that's fitting for their sort of way of understanding or way of education, way of learning. Now you have to understand that when you go out to a country like KSA, it's completely different. The setup is different. Everything is completely different. So one can't go out there having the same expectations as the universities, for example, here in the West or in UK or anywhere else in the world. So don't have expectations. Go out there preparing yourself, and you should be already prepared, knowing that you're going to a different country. It's not, number one, your native language. For those that don't speak Arabic, it's not a place of comfort, what you know you call home. It's not like the West. It's different. But all of these things shouldn't matter to you, because you should be going out there for the right intention, which is to seek knowledge, to get close to Allah Azza wa Jal. So whatever comes in your way, obstacles, it shouldn't be a means of you making an excuse and be like, oh, you know what, I wasn't prepared for this, I wasn't set up for this. No, you want to go and get close to Allah Azza wa Jal. You want to seek knowledge. So therefore, prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Okay, so I remember the days when I was there and I was the liaisons for the British students. And I met a lot of brothers, subhanAllah. Some of them were young, some of them had never traveled, some of them had never left home. And you meet them, and literally it's like they're completely bombarded. They're completely like, they don't know what's going on, because they had a lot of expectations. Maybe they had rumors from other people that had no experience, no knowledge about the university. And therefore, of course, when they got there, they were disappointed. They got put off. They were a bit lonely. The weather conditions, the way things are, things work a bit slower there. You know, in terms of going to sort any sort of paperwork, you have to wait a couple of days until one thing can get sorted out. These are all things that are normal out there. However, for someone that doesn't have the experience, it can come as a shock. It can come as a shock. So don't have expectations. Another one, Ikhwani, is that brothers that have, brothers that are young, I do recommend you, the young brothers specifically, those that are not married, those that maybe have never traveled alone without family or left home, then it is recommended for you to not have any sort of expectations. Try and make some sort of contacts before you go out there, before you go to the university. Make contacts with people that you know, maybe. So when you do get there, you have this sort of, content, and you don't have the feeling of being homesick. Because if you have contacts that are out there in the university that you can meet up, then it does help. Another thing that I do recommend for everyone, whether you're married or not married, going out there, have a timetable where on the weekends, ikhwani, billah alaykum, is very important. You're going there to seek knowledge, of course, without a doubt, but you're a human being. You have hobbies, you have interests. So when you go out there, try and carry them interests and hobbies on. Try your utmost best too when you go out there, do sports on the weekend, go to the gym, maybe just chill, go out to eat every now and again. Try and just do something that will keep you going and motivated, so that you're doing your day-to-day life, maybe 5 days a week, which is obviously in the university. If you're going for a lesson or two in the Masjid al-Nabawi, it's khair, it's good. But at the same time, have a break, a breeze, like have like a means of you being able to release that cycle that is happening, the repeat of you doing, reading a book, memorizing and what have you, because it can get tiresome. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it can get tiresome for the mind, for the brain, because you're not really used to it, especially if you don't have that background, like many of us, of seeking knowledge. You don't come from a country where you grew up memorizing. And just like to make a point on that, Ikhwani, that a lot of people from the West, the way we learn and we educate ourselves, or the way when we go to school, is not based upon memorization. It's merely based upon understanding. So, for example, you study for a chemistry exam, you have to understand different things, different concepts. When you are learning and being taught, for example, in GCSEs or A levels, you get taught in a normal way where the teacher teaches you a book, and you go through one book, you don't even complete that one book throughout that whole year, the academic year. Now, out there is different. And the way you learn, you revise for the exam, you read what you need to read, you revise it, you understand it, and you pick up points or two where you memorize. But it's mainly based upon understanding and less memory, less memorization. Now, out there, I'm talking about now in the university, Islamic university, okay, from the time you get to the Mahad all the way until you graduate, things are based upon understanding without a doubt, but mainly memorization. So there's a lot of memorization one has to do. Now, I'm talking through experience, I've seen brothers struggle from that specific angle, where they're not used to the life of just memorizing so much. So hence why it gets tiresome. It's different for them. It's like it's a complete different pedestal. It's a complete different ball game. And it can get a bit too much. And it's like, okay, I'm not used to this. I'm not up for this. I wasn't made for this. So that's why I do advise all the brothers to kind of get into the system before they go out there. And when they're there in the beginning, early stages, to try and memorize a page a day, different ahadith, Quran. It does help. Another reason, sorry, and this is the second advice. Second advice will be for the married brothers. Now, a lot of brothers that are married, um, they go out there without any sort of plan. It's just they just go out there. I want to go there. It's amazing. Of course, you apply for it. You want to go out there. Maybe you applied and then you get accepted 3 years later because the list didn't come out. Or it could be anything else. It could be something where you applied and maybe you didn't have children. Now you have children. It could be anything. Like, Khwani, you have to bear in mind and realize that going out there, it's not the same as the West where you have benefits and you get support. You get 840 riyal. That's not going to change whether you're married or not married. Okay, you want to go and apply for your wife to come there. Now the problem is that a lot of brothers don't prepare for going out there, knowing that they're going to leave their spouse and their children for maybe 9 months until they can bring them, maybe a year, maybe more. When you do go out there, have a plan where you've saved up some sort of income before you go out there. Not just the £5,000 that you have to pay as a deposit to bring them. That's just, put that to a side, Ikhwan. Put that completely to a side. I'm talking about income where you're able to support your family financially, rent a house, where you're able to support them and buy, furniture. These are the beginning stages that are really, really tough, and a lot of brothers struggle and find it difficult. Where you're able to provide for your family and buy groceries, the groceries and shopping for your children and your spouse in terms of clothing, that comes after, but mainly for the accommodation, the actual roof over your head, okay, and also the furniture. These things come as a big shock. So plan that in advance before you even, decide you want to apply for the university and bring them. Maybe apply, no problem. Have the means of, building up to having an income and everything else. And then afterwards, once you do that, you're able to bring them after applying. But prepare yourself and know that it's not going to be easy. So one of the main reasons I've seen brothers that are married drop out of the university is that they go there, they don't have a plan, they study the first year, they come back to the UK or anywhere else in the West, they try and apply, right? They try and apply to the university for bringing their wives, and they have just about bare minimum to bring them in terms of the visa process and everything. Once they get out there and they try to bring them, it's difficult. They realize, yeah, it's difficult. I'm still struggling. I'm not really ready because my wife has appointments, my children have appointments, this, that, and they're back in the holidays, they're in the limbo, they get, people telling them you should carry on, and maybe they think about dropping out. There's so many things now, Ikhwani. Before you go out there, know that it is going to be tough. So the main reason that makes the brothers drop out is that they're not financially capable of bringing their spouse and their children, and at the same time they want to stay, but they can't stay because no one is providing for their wife and their children, and they have to return back. Had they planned or maybe sought advice or got advice from someone, it would have been carried out in a much, much, much better way. It would have been planned and it would have been carried out in a much better way that would have enabled them and their spouse to go out there and live there. What should they have done? The question is, they should have saved up money. Okay, when you apply, I always remind and tell the brothers, don't rush. La tasta'jilu, don't rush and come into the university. You still have another year and to 2 years. You have 2 years where when your name comes out, you have 2 years to get into the country. You can always defer your studies. That's what you can do. So when you when you apply, start saving up and thinking, inshallah, you're going to get accepted. If you do, you get accepted. Don't go out there straight away if you've got 3 wives and kids. That's a lot. That's a big commitment, Ikhwan. At the end of the day, you have that commitment and responsibility over your head. Of course, you want to seek knowledge, but which one is more wajib? To provide for your family or to go out there, leave them in a difficult situation, okay, get into arguments because of the friction that you guys are apart, and then have that sort of disagreement and whatnot, and then just end up divorcing your wife and leaving your children to have fatherless, and then carry on studying. Now, had you thought about it and planned it in a much better way, okay, you wouldn't have had to even be in this predicament. What you could have done, and what every single married couple, brother should do, is that they should apply to the university. That's khair, that's amazing. Okay, inform your spouse as well that you wish to go out there. Make them understand why you want to go out there. Explain it to them, because ikhwani, at the end of the day, your wife is going to sacrifice everything that you've established, or you have established, or she has established, to go out and fulfill your dreams. Remember, it's your dreams. It's not her dream to go out there and study and stay there, because most of it she's not going to really be studying, depending on how you treat her and your lifestyle out there. She's going to be, in the house and looking after your family. So she's living your dream. So you have to make sure you make it enjoyable, make her understand what the concept is behind it, make her love it to go out there. So what you should do is apply for the university. If you do get accepted, then what can you do? Very simple. Start saving up money. Do things that are going to help you when you get out there. Also, you're going to be able to have some sort of residual income, something, even if it's not a lot. Get teaching qualifications, get online, I don't know, qualifications that are able to help you work on the side when you're there remotely, whilst you're there in Saudi Arabia. All of these things are going to help you be able to be in a better situation. So if you go out there now after the first year or the second year of being accepted, then at least you're going out there and you've got money saved up. You've got the 5K, £5,000. Okay, you've got that saved for the visa and the deposit and everything in order for you to actually bring your wife, okay, and children. And then at the same time, as soon as you go and you actually start studying and you put the application in, what can you do? What can you do, Ikhwani? Very simple. You can now start the process of applying for your wife to bring them. You've got that rahatul bal, you got that peace of mind knowing that I've got money saved up. Because at the end of the day, whether we want to admit it or not, it's a sad reality. You need money to be able to survive out of that. You need support, whether you have financial income or maybe someone else. That's alhamdulillah, wa bihi wa ni'mah. So once you get there, you apply, and then as soon as you apply, within a couple of months, you get accepted. It won't take long if you've got the money straight up at hand. Obviously, you've had to, and bear in mind, you have to stay there for at least 1 year, 1 semester or 2, which is 1 year or let's say 3 to 4 months. Get a grade of J Jiddan, which is like a B in your grades in the Ma'had or Kulliyah, whichever stage you start in. And then as soon as you have that, what can you do? You can apply. Once you apply and you get accepted, that's it. Now you can start the process of you can bring them. But before you bring them, what do? You set up the accommodation. Be responsible. Be aqil as a Muslim man that has a family. You set up. Ikhwani, wallahi, this is just sincere advice for myself. Don't be in a situation where I came and it was folded. I mean, I had to stay in a hotel for literally like 2 weeks, look for accommodation with my wife and children there. And it's like, it was difficult. Sorry, at the time I didn't have any children. But I mean, I did struggle in the beginning because I wasn't advised to kind of, leave my family behind and then look for accommodation. There was no help. It was different many years ago. We're talking about, a good 10 to 12 years ago. So it was different compared to now when I first went out there. But I'm talking about now, if you've got the opportunity and you listen to this video, advise all the ikhwa, don't bring out family, your wife and children, before you set up the accommodation. Go there, land in the country, you've got the visa, okay, good. Don't bring them straight away with the visa and then you start looking for accommodation with your wife. No, go there, look, and all of this as well. Why I'm saying this video is, why do people drop out? Because it's too much for them. They bring their wife and children without any accommodation. They're looking for a house. They've got exam on Monday. They haven't revised. They've got NSA due in on Thursday. They're failing the exam. They haven't handed in the essay. Everything is, getting on top of their heads. It's getting too much. They get stressed. And then they get a warning. They get a second warning, and then they get kicked out. That has happened before. Many people have been kicked out because they're not up to their studies, because they have other distractions, and from them is their family being with them. So as soon as you got that visa, start applying for your start looking for accommodation. Send pictures, videos to your wife, because at the end of the day, they say that the house really and truly is the house of a wife, because she's the one that's going to be there mostly more than the husband. You're going to be out studying, from the morning until dhuhr time. As soon as you've got a house set up, you paid 6 months up front. That's how it happens, or 1 year up front. You've got that. Get a car if you can. This is not something as well very important. Save up for that car. It's crucial. It's not like in the West where you got the bus, you got the 18 bus, the 52316, and take you everywhere. You don't want to be jumping an Uber every single time going around. You don't want to be walking in that heat, in that sun. It's difficult. It's not nice. But if you've got everything set up and planned, the car, I'm not saying it's a must to get it before, but it's much better. Take it from me, from experience, it's much better. You don't want to be getting a rental every single time, wasting, hundreds and hundreds of pounds or riyals every single week. Ikhwani, you want that peace of mind where if you've got everything set up, it's not going to distract you in your dirasa. It's not going to distract you in your studies. You're going to have that house there. So in your holidays, you go, whenever you get a chance, you go, you fly out to your country, you bring your wife and children, or your wife. you've got the house there, you've got the car there, where you're able to commute from your house to the university. Hence why I said to you, it's much better to get the car before you leave. Now, Ikhwani, all of these, you must. Exactly. Jazakallah khair. Someone even mentioned in the comments that, they know brothers out there studying in KSA, begging for money. All of the, and this I'm saying to you because it's like they go out there before planning. And you don't want to be someone that, al-yad al-ulya ahsan min yad al-sufla. The upper hand is always better than the lower hand. You don't want to be someone going out there, asking and receiving donations and what have you, because of course it's not nice. You want to go out there, save up, and have a means to support yourself, to be, stable. If you have that and you're a married brother and you've got that set up already lined up, when you bring your spouse, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, of course, if you've come to an agreement, you've explained to her and she's also supportive as well, your spouse won't make it difficult for you and put you off your studies, because majority of the brothers that are married come out of the university and leave and drop out because of difficulties and family problems, because they can't bring their spouse, or maybe they haven't really made it that nice. So when they bring their wives out there, she's always in the house. Maybe they've got financially, they're stable, but a lot of them, why they drop out is they go there, they're going and studying from morning all the way until dhuhr. Wife's in the house. It's like at least a good 8 hours. Okay, come back home, have a little nap, rest. They go out again, have lunch maybe with their wife. They go out after Asr, maybe stay for like 3-4 hours. After Asr, they go to Haram or into Isha. Now think about it. It's like you're imprisonating your wife for all them hours. Ya akhi, ittaqillah. That doesn't make sense. She didn't sign up for that. She didn't sign up to go in and be behind closed, 4 walls, closed doors. No, you should go out there, be with your spouse as if she's your best friend, as if she's your soulmate. So also take her with you to the Haram. Make her pray the alf salah khayrun min alf salah. Make her pray the salah that's better than 1,000 prayers. Go out there with her, take her out, in terms of make her love the country, make her learn Arabic, make her go to the institute. She can also benefit. If she's going to benefit as well whilst you're benefiting, she can be teaching your children whilst you're out there. So it's all a thing where a lot of brothers, when they go out there, it's like they're just lost. They're just thinking about themselves and they forget, I've got wife at home. I've left her for 9, 10, 12 hours at home. Yeah, that's not healthy for any sort of human being. She's your wife and she's a human being, So that's another reason why a lot of them drop out, because the wife, after a while, she's like, I can't handle this. It's been too long. I need to breathe, And then she wants to go back. He wants to say, she's like, oh, I didn't sign up for this. And they get into an argument and what have you. Next thing you know, he's ended up divorcing her. He's getting affected because obviously he's playing up with his mind and he leaves the university. Another situation, another, spot basically wasted. Because at the end of the day, that's how I look at it. If you go out there and you don't plan, it's because of your own self and your own lack of intellect, and you make these mistakes, you wasted someone else's spot that could have done it better than you. So don't be from those that are in that situation, if that makes sense. Okay? Don't be from those that are in that situation. Now, being in the university, Ikhwani, you only get 840 riyal. So you can convert it to how much that will be in your currency. 840. It doesn't change whether you're married or not married, have 4 children or 10 children, or you're single. 840 riyal. Simple as. Now, going back on the topic, another reason why a lot of students drop out. So I've talked about the married students, I've talked about the single. Now, let me just talk about why students drop out in general. A lot of brothers, they go out there and they have their own pieces of advice, or maybe they haven't been advised at all, and they have a bad company. Okay? The Prophet ﷺ said, Al-maru ala dini khalili. Al-maru ala dini khalili. It's very simple. The Prophet ﷺ said in an authentic hadith that a person is upon the religion of his companion. Now, Ikhwani, if one goes out there and has bad company, you have company that is always wasting time, they're always out in the restaurants 24/7. They're not really taking their studies seriously. They're just there because they want to try out Saudi Arabia and they, saw a means of getting in there. You don't want to be around these kind of people. And there are people out there that are completely not there to study. They're just there just to be there. I'm just here in Saudi Arabia. Hey, vlogging all the time, this, that. Ikhwani, you want to be with someone serious. Try and accompany yourself with people that are serious, that they're going to help you stay there and even do more. They're going to help you prosper. Now, a lot of brothers that drop out is because of that reason. They get tired after a while because of their companions. And the Mashaykh used to always advise all of the students, be with someone that is better than you. in terms of seeking knowledge, more serious than you, has memorized more than you. Why? Because if you're around that person, you're going to always want to compete. They're going to push you to do good. They're going to make you sick. They're going to drag you to the ulama's lesson. Forget lessons in the jamia. That's obviously mandatory. I'm talking about the lessons outside, extra. They're going to drag you to these kind of halaqat of ilm. They're going to help you sit with the knowledge, sit with people of knowledge and be around people of knowledge. They're going to help you stay in the haram after Isha, late, revising, memorizing. This is going to keep that energy, that good positive energy around you. Now, if you're around brothers that are always eating in the restaurants, always just chilling, always in their rooms, hardly going for jama'ah in the masajid, they don't really go for communication in the masajid. Of course, without a doubt, you're going to be dragged into that cycle that's just eventually you just get tired and just tired and tired and tired and worn out. And it's like, you know what? I can't take it. I'm not really here for this anyway. Because of the fact that you're around people that are not here for that. Hence why it's very important to choose a good companion. Another reason why a lot of brothers drop out is because of the fact that they have not prepared themselves to actually study. They love knowledge and everything, but they haven't prepared themselves. A big piece of advice I want to shout out to everyone. I want to just remind everyone there, remember, they're not there to cater for you and feed you knowledge literally with, you know, a plate, say here. They're not there to hand you knowledge like that, you know. So you have to prepare yourself. If you don't know any Arabic, how to read or anything, please try and learn before you go out there, because there is no, up until today, unfortunately, there isn't a syllabus for those that can't read Arabic at all. And you have 3 opportunities. Some really and truly is 2, but you can get someone to, you know, come and put in a good word to have it the 3rd time. If you fell in the ma'had the 1st time, that's not good. Meaning you failed level 1 or whatever level you're at. If you fail again, they usually kick you out after the 2nd time. So you fail, they give you another opportunity. If you fail, they kick you out. Sometimes it can go to 3 times. You don't want that to happen because you're a good student, you're trying hard, but just generally you just don't get Arabic. So learn before you go out there. At least learn how to read and write. Well, just how to read the Arabic text, like the alphabet, alif, ba, ta, tha, until you get to finish and join the letters, you know, thaljun, tha, lam, Jim, Thelj, you know, you learn the basics. You need to be able to have these basics so that, because I've seen brothers Masakir, they were hardworking brothers that were in the ma'had and they failed until it was it. They got kicked out, unfortunately. So you don't want this to happen to you, Ikhwani. You don't want this to happen to you. So learn the Arabic language at a basic level, because unfortunately, up until now, they don't help you, or they don't have a syllabus in the ma'had from Mustawa Awwal, from the 1st level, where they help the students that can't read and write. So learn it. Also, Ikhwani, you have to make sure you are there and you have good brothers around you that are not toxic. You don't want to be in a toxic environment where people are there, they tell you to do this and tell you to do that, and it's like they got you in a leash. You don't want to be in a leash there. You want to be a person that's there, that you're going because of you. Remember, you're the one that applied. You're the one that got the paperwork. You're the one that got everything set up. You're the one that's going for yourself. Allah Azza wa Jalla asks you, did you use that opportunity or did you waste it? So if you're going because of someone else, because, you know, your sheikh or your teacher or whatever said, you know what, go there, do this, do that, be in this lesson, be in that lesson, and I'm going to come and give you this position. Ya Ikhwani, do everything for the sake of Allah. You know, if you do something for the sake of Allah, Allah will put so much benefit in it. Wallahi al-azim. Allah will put so much benefit in it. You won't even probably realize. وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. Whoever fears Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah will provide from him from a means that he would literally, it's like, how did this happen, subhanAllah? Why? Because you're doing it for the right reasons. So make sure you do it for the right reasons. Be sincere in your talab. Be sincere in what you're doing. If you're sincere in something, Allah will open doors from, you know, literally avenues that you would not even think are able of being opened. So do it for the right reasons. Okay, Ikhwani, do it for the right reasons. Don't be like, and Ikhwani, like the reason, you know, I actually went off topic a little bit as well, but I've seen more than, or I know more than at least 15 brothers. Myself, I personally know more than 15 brothers that have dropped out of the university. I don't want to give an exact number, but I know more than 15 from the UK alone. Okay, from the UK alone. I'm not even talking about other countries. Let me just talk about the UK, because I'm from the UK. I know more than 15 brothers that have dropped out. So don't be from those that add to the list as well. Okay, go there for the right intentions. Be smart about it. Don't rush. And another piece of advice I give all the brothers as well, whether you're married or single, if you're in uni right now, and you've got 1 more year or 2 more years to complete, don't drop out and just say, I want to go to the University of Medina and study. You need to have a means to provide for yourself. If you're going to complete university, you can defer your studies for 1 year, 2 years, complete the university here in the UK or whatever you may be, go to the University of Medina, you've got the both of both worlds, and you're able to go out there with some sort of qualification. Because when you do leave and graduate, you need something to step back on. You need something to lean back on. So you're going to have that degree that or that qualification or experience, whatever you may have, that you can literally start your new chapter in your life and work. And another, of course, thing that I've noticed a lot of brothers when they're working, maybe they just end up leaving suddenly, they don't inform their job, so many things, and then they can't ever come back to that job. Don't do that. Be smart about what you're doing. Plan things in advance. Don't be from those that just go there and just it's like, yeah, Medina, Medina, Medina. Because at the end of the day, you're not good. You don't know what's going to come. And some brothers don't realize that when they're there, things happen in your life that maybe family situations, problems that affect you, and it's like you're put in a predicament and you're cornered. What do I do? So that's why if you've got something where you're able to lean back on, you've got an income, you're financially stable out there, you don't have to ask someone or this or that. Alhamdulillah, you can always come back to the West, work for a little bit, and then go back. You can defer your studies for a year, 1 year, whatever. Sort yourself out, sort the family situation out, and then go back. Always be positive as well, Ikhwani. Always be positive. Yeah, one of the brothers, inshallah, I'm going to just now take my time to reply to the messages in the chat. So just to clear up everything, I don't know when the list is going to come out. Okay, I don't know that when the list is going to come out. I don't know when the door is going to open for those that want to apply. So when it does, inshallah, we will make an announcement. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. Going to apply next year. We'll be contacting you later on. Unfortunately, I know there's brothers from the West says can apply. Yes, anyone that wants to apply, you can apply. But up until now, the door for the University of Medina and other universities out there is still not open. The minimum age, roughly, I would say 16. Okay, 16. If you've got some sort of GCSEs or I don't know, in America, I think it's high school qualifications, you can apply with that. Brothers are actually asking, no, alhamdulillah, I actually graduated last year. I'm not still in the University of Medina. Allahumma ameen. Okay, so one last thing. Okay, this is very, very good question. My husband is going to Medina next year, inshallah. What awaits me as a woman? How does your wife feel about her to stay in Medina? Okay, with regards to if you're a sister and your husband has applied to the University of Medina, pieces of advice that I can give you is sit down with your husband. Okay, as your wife, as you are the wife, sit down with your husband, talk to your husband, and make him kind of understand what he's going to do, your timetable, what it should be, your involvement. Try and be involved in this opportunity that he has, because wallahi, sisters, if you support your husband, and I know it's not easy, and this is a message and a reminder for the ikhwa, ittaqullah fi nisa, ittaqullah fi nisa, fear Allah azza wa your women folk, fear Allah azza wa your women folk, and know that the woman has been created from a dhulib, from a rib cage, and it's literally, you should be kind to your wife. And if you try to straighten her and try to advise her in a harsh way, then you're going to make her, of course, go off the rails. And of course, if you are good to your wife, then walillah alhamd, fastawsu bin nisa. Be kind to your wives, be kind to her. Try and sit her down as a husband, explain to her why you want to go and study. Many husbands are just, they're just like robotic. They don't really sit down and talk and explain to their wives why they want to go out there. They're just like, I've got the university, I'm gonna go, I'm excited. But you're forgetting, you're excited, and because of your excitement, maybe you forget that your wife also is going to be wanting to support you and tag along and go with you, but she didn't sign up for that. That's not her dream. You both didn't get married on the basis that you have to support me going to university. No, explain to her, As a husband, sit down with her, explain to her what it entails to go out there, get advice and pieces of advice from the brothers that are there living with their wives. And inshallah, we'll make another video regarding how to be a wife of a student of knowledge, or a student that's studying in the University of Medina or any other university, because it's not easy. So if you do explain it to her, and explain to her the benefits, the reward she will get for just supporting you, the hasanat that she will get in Yawm al-Qiyamah, and so many other things, make her explain it to her so that she understands. And as a wife, you should be understanding and know that, wallahi, if you support your husband sincerely for the sake of Allah to get reward from Allah Azza wa Jal, then so many things of benefit you will find within your lives in this dunya and in the akhirah. Generally speaking, and I will remind all of those that there is a video that I've made here regards to a woman and the opportunities that a sister has in Medina. Then there are plenty. So I don't want to prolong in this video and talk about them, because there are plenty. So all the sisters that your husband has been accepted or he's applying, then know that it is fun. However, ikhwani, that's down to you. You're the one that makes it fun or hell, and it can be living hell. I'm just being straight out there. I'm literally just being completely open and straight and blunt about it. It can be hell being out there as a wife of a husband studying, and that only goes back down to the husband. However, if the husband makes it a beautiful, a means of you being there, being able to pray Masjid Nabawi, benefiting, traveling around Saudi Arabia when you get a chance and what have you, then it can be the most amazing experience and the best experience in your whole life, sister. And that's just me being straight once again. So that goes back down to the husband. But of course, from the means is that from the time that your husband goes to the university until the morning, he can also take you to an institute where you can study yourself. And when you're studying at that time in the institute, you can learn the Arabic language, and it's all free of charge. You can learn the Arabic language, learn aspects of the Deen, Quran, memorize, meet other sisters that have the same, life experience as you in terms of their husbands also studying. You can go to the Haram in the night time, spend some time there. There's lessons there. You can go to, do different things in the malls, take your children there, fun fair, so many things. There are things that happen. They have like sisters istirahat where they get together and they hire out a pool. Swimming pool in the place. I mean, the list goes on, but there's a lot of things that one can do out there. However, it just depends on the husband. It depends on how he makes your experience there. So once again, ikhwani, it's something that has to be mutual. It has to be something that where both you and your husband decide to do, and they are able to actually make it something that is of benefit. Also, but of course, remember, sister, that, or any other sister that's watching, that with regards to going up to the university, you have to wait at least 3 months to 6 months, or to 9 months, or I should say, to actually go out there, because he has to go there and start studying, and then afterwards start applying for your visa and what have you. So that takes obviously a bit of time. Of course, without a doubt, yes, all the people that have graduated and have finished, then they can apply for the masters, and the exams are usually before the beginning of the first semester, if that makes sense. So before the end, of the first semester. So like around November, December times, they start having the exam. They have the exam in January or in December, then the results come out in like January times, and then they start for the masters the following year in September. Yes, of course, Ikhwani, if you've got any sort of qualifications, it's not a must to have a grade A or A star to apply for the university, just apply. The summer holidays begin in July, if I'm not mistaken, July this year. But they so we can assume that wants to go in their mission. Yes, to be honest, there's so many hadith, that you can, and it's not just a hadith. You have to also this is a reminder for myself first and foremost and others listening. It shouldn't be a thing where you just present your wife a hadith of trying to support you and what have you. Make it a thing where you're living that life now with her. You know, you try and benefit each other. You learn together the deen. Make it a mutual thing where you're both seeking knowledge together in whatever you may be in the world. And then inshallah she would love the deen. And if she loves the deen and she wants to learn more, then of course who wouldn't want to go out there where she can learn even in a much better condition. Once a year, not each semester, Muhammad. The University of Medina accepts the students once a year. Ikhwani, that's it for today. I did go longer than I wanted. هذا وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. And of course, for all those that have any other questions, and of course you can just message me via the email. And بإذن me and MSL team will get back to you at a time that is of course convenience. And we ask Allah Azza to make this a beneficial one, and to make it one that all have been able to take away something and benefit. But just don't forget, be sincere in your intentions. Make sure that you're going out there for the right reasons. If you make your intentions sincere for the sake of Allah Azza, then Allah will make it easy for you. وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.